Yo, what's going on? It's your boy. Left the office late. Now we home late. Here today to show you a pretty cool Dokkan tool. It's actually more than cool if you know anything about software or if you have been a fan of Dokkan for a long time or aware of A. Renzi and his older web play technologies or any web play technology. What I'm about to show you is close to amazing as you can get. So there is an open source battle bot which is basically does a couple of things that are impressive in my opinion. First of all, the most impressive thing is that they knew enough to use actually open source libraries instead of my dumbass. When I did something similar to this, I never touched their database, but the most I ever did was like web requests. I did like literally it was Apache's HTTP client. Not really using any libraries. This actually uses a library for the AES 256 Genjutsu with the database. And then for signing, I'm assuming it just uses OAuth and the regular convention. And it's really cool. It actually does a lot of stuff. And I might as well just jump into it. So in order to download it, you can get it from GitHub. It's open source BattleBot Flash Chaser. Be careful of impersonators. I've seen a lot of people kind of repost this bot. I actually found this from someone who reposted it. There's nothing wrong with people taking software and making modifications and playing around with it, but there's a difference between using an executable and using source. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times in the past people have just downloaded games or downloaded things, and then you find out your fucking CPU's getting raped with Bitcoin mining. With this here, this is the source code. What you're downloading is right here. This is the source. If you see anything funky, let me know. I'll uninstall it. But that being said, all you need to do is download it. You can download it one of two ways. You can either download it as a Dokkan.zip, which will have an executable. I personally would recommend you don't do this. I personally did this and I ran into some issues. So I just did the source code download. So as you can see here, I have the source code already. And by the way, another thing you're going to need in case you did not notice is that after you download that, unzip it, either WinZip or WinRAR, you need to do a bunch of pip install commands. If you don't have pip or you don't have Python, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to Google, google.com, it's your friend, type in the word Python, and then go to python.org and simply download the latest version of Python 3.7.3. You need Python 3. Download it. Once you download it, it should give you the option of setting your path. If for some reason it didn't give you the option of setting your paths on Windows, it's pretty easy. You'd go to Advanced System Settings, Environment Variables. You can look at the path here, Edit Text, shut up, and somewhere in here you will be pasting the path. As you can see here, Python. You got to put in your path because you want to use the command line from any directory, so you need that shit in your command line, which, by the way, this program does it. Download it. It'll ask you, do you want it in the path? Simply say yes. So in order to make this work, okay, so this is what I recommend. I recommend you go to the directory where you download it. I got it in Documents, Dokkan, Source, Open Source BattleBot 0.1, and this is the directory. So if you're on Windows from this directory, you can go ahead and type in CMD. If you're on Mac OS, just open the terminal and Finder. So we're on the, whoops, didn't mean to close that. We're on the CMD, so now you can actually use the tool after you install the dependencies. Like I said, it has a bunch of dependencies. So to give you an example, you can just copy the command, paste it in your CMD, hit enter, and as you can see, in a moment, it'll just download it if I don't have it. Or, as you can see, I already have it, requirement already satisfied, literally just do this for all these things, and then you'll have the requirements needed. And then, as you can see on the GitHub, it says, then go to where your Dokkan file is and type python3 dokkan.py. I don't know why they say Python 3. I usually just do Python, so do whatever works for you. By the way, just so you know, if you're wondering if you have Python or not, if you just hit the word Python in your CMD, it'll open up Python. It'll give you all this info. It'll actually take you into Python, which is pretty cool. You can actually, like, code in Python in your CMD, which is always... I wish they had this for more languages. Exit. So yeah, so Python and pip, as you can see, if you type in pip or pip3, it'll tell you, you know, a bunch of bullshit letting you know you have pip. So, anyway, if you want to see the files in your directory, you can do dir if you're on Windows, ls if you're on Mac. So anyway, we're going to do Python. We're going to use Python 3 if that works for you. And we're going to do Dokkan.py. It's a Python program, essentially. Again, this is a really cool project. It's a really cool endeavor, and I think people should really commend this guy for the time he put into this, and the fact he's putting it out for free. Let's be honest. Not everyone's like the GNU God who believes in free databases or free software. Check for new databases. More than likely, you're going to say yes because you need to. Be careful now. Android, iOS. Remember, if you have an Android device and transfer to iOS, you're going to lose your stone, so keep that in mind. And as you can see here, this is the actual Dokkan server communication. It is asking you to solve the CAPTCHA. So we're going to solve the CAPTCHA, hit OK. And as you can see, verification completed. Once we're done with that, go back to your CMD and just click onto CMD context, hit enter. Alright, sign in complete. Android or iOS, Android again. And this is for the Japanese version. One thing I noticed when I was using the EXE is that it gives you the option of either doing JP or global, which I guess is nice, but it's just gonna load. Did I do this wrong? I low-key did this wrong. Let's be honest, I'm a robot, folks. Oh, whoop, that goes over there. I can see now with my robot mind what I did wrong. Come on, dude, really? I wonder what happens if I refresh this. No, I don't want it translated. Hit that. Okay. And there we go, verified, success. It's kind of weird. Capture result, success, message. Go back. That's the hardest part in all of this, solving the fucking CAPTCHA. Database update complete. JP or GLB? GLB. Now here's your options. You can make a brand new Dokkan account, or you can transfer your account, or you can load a save. Now, when I first saw this, I didn't know what the fuck it was talking about. Loading a save is literally loading a save state that you have. So, for example, let's say Global 2, right? Let's open with... let's see. How do we open this shit? Let's open with Atom. If this shit loads properly. Come on, Atom. Come on, Atom. Come on and load, you fuck it. What? I don't know what the fuck it is. Atom lately just opens in my second window. Whatever, dude. Atom, fuck you. Notepad is where it's at. Boom, bitch. So as you can see, this is the quote-unquote save file. It's literally just what region, global, what OS, Android, and then your identifier file. If you don't know what your identifier file is, you know, years ago, I remember Flash Final Vegeta actually made a pretty good video about that. It's pretty much just the account credentials tied to your account at creation time. If you're familiar with AWS, think of this as like your access and secret, you know what I mean? It's something you want to keep near and dear, don't lose, don't let anyone see it, this, then, third, whatever. So, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to transfer account to the bot. So I'm going to type in 1. So Android, again, remember if you're on iOS and transfer Android, you'll lose your stones. If you're on Android and transfer iOS, you'll lose your stones. Keep that in mind. I don't know if I can do that on this bot, but I know on OS that happens. Enter your transfer code. So go ahead and go to your Dokkan account, which is, this is it right here. And as you can see, this is actually a fairly new account. It is pretty much, you know, a day or two old. As you can see, I have 91 Dragon Stones. I have, let's see, my team consists of a bunch of losers for the most part. And my items, let's go to Awakening Metals. Not much is going on here. I'm going to go ahead and also show my intention after transferring in here. I'm going to try to do the Z battle, just as an example. Hey, look, I'm on level 1 right now. I'm such a bum pussy piece of shit. Trying to get that leveled up. Device transfer backup. Enter transfer code. Okay. Oh, whoa. And the transfer code is MX. All right, let's copy that. Can we paste this into... Very nice. So, remember, it says enter your transfer code, right? It doesn't say anything about your access, which is kind of cool. At first, I kind of was like, what the fuck? How do they know? And then, as you can see here, this shit right here, that's your identifier, I'm assuming, more than likely. What would I like to name the file? Global test account. Let's see, is this too long? No, it's fine. Written details to file global test account. And by the way, just so you know, all the bullshit you save is just going to be saved in the saves directory. So as you can see, global test account is saved there. By the way, I would recommend, just so you know, if you're not familiar with, you know, this software, I'm certainly not, you know, a fucking genius when it comes to this software. I don't know about write permissions. I don't know about read permissions. I'd recommend if you're on Mac OS, I would chmod your save file as maybe, let's say, 7, probably 7, let's think. Probably 755 or something like that. Basically, something that won't allow the program to delete it. If you're on Windows, I have no clue how you can write protect files. But I saw online someone was complaining that their save got deleted and they didn't make a transfer code, so they lost their account. You don't really lose your account. You could always recover this. You could always tell Bandai. Don't be a fucking idiot and email Bandai and say, oh, I was using a Dokkan bot and I lost my account. No, stupid. You forgot it. You need help getting it back. So, the point I'm trying to make is fucking chmod these files, or you can use something called IntelliJ, something like that. It's used with a lot of different things. It preserves file state. If you know what that means, it basically means if you're retarded and delete a file, you could go in and recover it. And of course, check your fucking recycle bin. So anyway, back to the bot, aka script, aka Python program. Now my account is in here. If you actually type in info, it'll give the info. I have 91 stones, Zenny's that much, rank 34, it's Android, blah, blah, blah. And if I wanted to transfer this back to my phone, all you have to do is type the word transfer, and it'll give me a transfer code. And that's that. So now if I type in help, as you can see, there's a bunch of different items. I can actually complete a stage using the ID or name. So in order to get the ID, you could do list events, which will literally just list a bunch of events, and you'll have the ID and shit to do. So let's say I want to do, let's see, what the fuck. The only thing I don't like about this is that when you put these commands in, you can't grep it. Dokkan Ultimate Speed Battle, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck is this Z Battle shit called? Actually, it's open here still, right? So technically our account is transferred. I can't do anything on this account anymore, but I'm still in this kind of stale state where I can, fuck. Never mind. I was about to say I'm still in this kind of stale state where I can see the information, but I guess not. But as you can see, your data has been transferred, so it honors the transfer. So where in the God's hell is this Z-Battle bullshit, dude? Well, I guess this is a good example. So as you can see a fucking bunch of shitty lists. I really wish you could just fucking prep this shit. Anyway, you can see it as a shitty list and use stage, and then you hit stage and you put in the info. Or if you type help again, there's actually an option called choose events, which will use Python's come on, dude. Choose events. There we go. Be careful not to misspell stuff. And then it'll just actually show you a list of events. So if you want to do this for quests, probably choose quests, right? Choose events. Complete quests will complete all unfinished quest stages. Complete events. Oh, complete Z battles. You know what? I'll actually do that. Completes all unfinished Z battles to stage 30. That's actually fucking good, man. Because think about it. Complete Z battles. So I'm just going to type this in and it'll do it for me. Family Kamehameha, ID 5. And boom, there we go. It's doing the stages as we speak. So it's going level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. And again, I have to stress, you know, I haven't mentioned this, but, you know, this is obviously against the terms of service. If for some reason Bandai were to find out that you're a fucking hacker, they'll IP ban your ass. But let's be honest, there's certain terms of service things that people do that, first of all, Bandai doesn't care about because it doesn't lose them money. And number two, they don't really give a shit, nor do they have the resources to listen and pay attention to information of that magnitude. So, for example, you know, if you use a modded APK, they're not fucking paying attention to the time that you finish. The only time Bandai has ever given a shit is when people figured out that they could dupe stones. And once they figured out that they can dupe stones and basically scheme and get money, Bandai was like, that's it, we're going to fucking kill these guys. But I think, I'm definitely confident, I've already used this 2 or 3 times with this account, I'm definitely confident that, first of all, this is literally programmatically the same thing. If I was doing this in an APK, you know, using a, you know, auto clicker, it's literally the same shit. The only difference is this is a lot faster. So as you can see, I got the 30 events. It's done. And now if I transfer this will actually be, respected, and I'll have that. And if I type in info, remember I had 91 stones. Now I'll probably 30. What, I have 121? Yeah, so now I have 121 stones. And again, this is really cool. This is really a great piece of software. It's very user-friendly. I understand not many people use terminals, but come on, dude, this is really user-friendly. And you can even summon if you want to. Look, you can type in the word summon, and then it'll give you a bunch of options. Like if you're fucking a lazy piece of shit, you could do power up. Obviously using your dragon stones. It's not like you're hacking into fucking Bandai servers and stealing this shit. Because guess what? If you did that, they'd come to your house and rape you. But let's see. Friend summon. You can do a single or a multi. I'm going to go ahead and do a multi. This is really cool, dude. All right, close that. Let's see. I got an N Cyberman, Phi Hercule. Ooh, AGL Pui Pui. Not bad, not bad. So, yeah, this is really cool. It's a really cool item. You can do a bunch of different things. Look at this. If I type in the word gift, it'll accept the gifts. So I type in the gifts accepted mission. So let's see. I almost did gift status info. I went from 121 to 167. Damn, I got a lot of fucking shit out of that. So, let me think. What else can I do? I guess quickly, if I show you, there's actually an option called Omega Farm, which will do everything. It'll do all the story, it'll do all the events, and it'll also do, I think, Z battles as well. And it literally literally does everything. So look at this. Pint size super word. That's where I left off. One thing I will mention when you're doing this, be careful. Again, this is all by the game's rules. If you run out of stamina, the program, a lot of people refer to this as a fucking bot, but really it's a program. It will end up using a stamina restore, thus losing one dragon stone. So let me undo that real quick. Whoop, shit, my shit's falling all over the place. Hold up. So let me undo that. And by the way, just so you know, to stop the command, you type in Control-C into the command line. It's like literally every other terminal. So, if you scroll up here, you'll notice that it said, oh, code, act is not enough, stamina restored. So it kind of gives you like a half second. If I was fast, I could have Command-C'd or Control-C'd out. But that's just for an example. But again, very cool, very neat, and from what I've seen, it's pretty fucking safe. I mean, come on, dude. What else do you want? So, I'm going to transfer this back to my account, which is right here in BlueStack. So device transfer, enter transfer code. User ID is 2074916-723. Hit enter. And then the transfer code is 7MM4G5CG3RXP. And I'm really surprised that someone put this out there as open source software. Because, well, a lot of reasons. First of all, I mean, you know, it's kind of unethical to a degree, because if someone knew what they were doing and really wanted to, you know, cause harm to Bandai, they would have more information and more intel to do that. And it is technically, I mean, to some degree, it's probably illegal. Not using it, but publishing it, I would imagine, is somewhat illegal, or at least unethical, because technically, in order to make this possible, he queries the database for all the information. So that information comes from the database, and the only way you can get into that database is by decrypting a key in order to use it, which basically means he knew how to decrypt the key, or he found the key, other people decrypted it, and he put it out there publicly. Now, in all honesty, Bandai should probably look into changing that key, and perhaps changing the algorithm they use that key, perhaps using a better salt, because this key has been the same key since 2015, because I believe, I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, the same shit that I fucking have, which is just a retarded program, still works. So that kind of tells me that Bandai don't give a fuck. Not that they don't give a fuck, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of common to vault passwords, because basically you use a vault and encrypt a password in AES 256 It's kind of common, at least at my job. And it will encrypt the key, but that key is still plain string somewhere. So say you get that key, you now know what the key is, you now know what the algorithm is. You can reverse engineer that, and that's what people have done. And they get the information, and from the information, they basically are able to use Bandai's database. And that's why people can see certain things in the database. And then, in terms of the signing, in terms of, like, you know, playing the game, it's basically OAuth. Well, it's not basically OAuth. It's bootstrapped OAuth from the point of, well, I don't know. When I did it, was bootstrapped OAuth from, like, plain Java. And creating these signing requests in fucking Apache. Which is really dumb. I mean, sometime in the future, maybe if I find some time, I'd like to find out how to replicate this piece of software in Java just for learning purposes. But either way, it's a very cool piece of software. It is, you know, obviously it's a time saver. But at the same time, it's kind of like a bit unethical in terms of publishing this. Although I may be wrong. I mean, fuck. If this guy published the key and it's encrypted... Oh yeah, that's actually true. If this guy published a key and it's encrypted, then technically it's the same amount of information. You cannot use the key unless you know, spend fucking months and decrypt it. So maybe he's not fucking up. So as you can see, earlier this was on 0 or 1, now it's 31. If I go to items, awakening medals, scroll down, here are all the medals, yum yum yum. And then obviously I'm 121 now, or what is that, 181? What the fuck does that say? And then I'm level 35, and my account is back on here. So pretty cool. I definitely think this is an interesting tool, I'd say. And I'm actually curious if you could actually load a save easily, like just fucking load it. I haven't tried that, but I think I may try this out on my JP account just for shits and giggles, fuck around. Very cool. Big time saver. Definitely would recommend you play around with it. I don't know much about it. I don't know, you know, obviously if this becomes wildly popular, I'd imagine Bandai would want to put a stop to it. But at the same time, like I said, this is not just a piece of software. This is literally open source. Anyone who has Python can run this shit, and anyone can contribute to it. But with that being said, this is pretty cool. It's a very cool tool. And, hey, enjoy.